Oh, 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 oh. Okay, we've all heard all the negative opinions people hold towards cosmetic enhancements. That it is supposedly unnecessary, they say. That it's unhealthy, risky, all this unnecessary negativity, really. Oh, okay. Apparently the opinions of someone who spent years and years within the medical field studying surgical procedures, health sciences, matters so much, but the opinions of someone who spent their leisure time watching YouTube videos regarding this field doesn't matter at all. Okay, favoritism much? Clearly, the opinions of one side matters way more than the other, right? The K-pop industry is a visually competitive field. Well, nowadays I guess it extends way beyond just K-pop. There's quite a high demand for all your favorite strangers within the entertainment industry of any field, really, to have quite a visually striking appearance. Whether it is just their faces or their bodies as well. Heck, this even applies to your favorite YouTubers as well. Just think about all those faceless channels whenever they try to come out with their faces on public. There is always quite the pressure for them to live up to the expectations of their fans, which oftentimes is quite good looking. And if you don't live up to that expectation, there's always this potential risk of something like #Dream is ugly trending again. Which, regardless of how you feel towards Dream, is just something that it's terrible to happen to anybody really. Now, with this high demand, there's also a high pressure that comes along with it for people within the entertainment industry to be visually competitive. Now, imagine you or I try to get into the entertainment industry where our visuals will be compared to one another whether we like it or not. Chances are we are going to look quite average because that's just how statistics works, mate. Most people are gonna look average, very little people are gonna be at the bottom end of the spectrum, very little people are gonna be those very beautiful people. So how are we supposed to compete with those very beautiful looking people if we ourselves are average looking? Even a lot of these very beautiful people have done some cosmetic enhancements procedures to make some of their physical features that much more outstanding. Of course, because of this, there's quite a high incentive for people within the entertainment industry to do at least a little bit of cosmetic enhancements to make it much easier for themselves. This is often seen as quite a bad thing. I mean, fair enough, I can think of quite a handful of reasons as to why pushing people to do more cosmetic enhancements can be quite problematic, but let's just put that aside for now. Because in a certain viewpoint, in a certain way of thinking, you can potentially think of this as quite a good thing, relatively speaking. Have you heard of the idea that you're not ugly, you're just poor? Now, I don't really know how you feel regarding that idea, or maybe this is the first time you've ever heard of that statement in the first place. What is definitely true though, is the prevalence of cosmetic enhancements within the entertainment industry definitely does fit into this idea quite a lot, which personally speaking, I don't think it's quite all that bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can definitely think of quite a handful of ways on how this idea can be quite problematic, but I can also think of how this idea can be quite a good thing as well. Just think of a situation where people feels really insecure about their physical appearance. Maybe they feel like they're really ugly. Maybe they feel like some of their physical appearance just stands out so much to the point that it is impacting their day-to-day activities. For those kind of situations, don't you think this idea can be quite a good thing? To an extent, of course. Definitely, at some point it can be quite problematic, but potentially. Just the idea that by making some realistic changes to your physical appearance can potentially have very realistically positive effects on your day-to-day lives can be quite a good thing, no? And kind of tagging to this idea as well. Aren't they really just a more realistic visual inspiration for a lot of us? If you, like me, feels more neutrally towards cosmetic enhancements, some of these things can start to feel like a dream. Just look at Espa Giselle. Take away how you feel regarding whether she's more beautiful prior or after cosmetic enhancements. What is very true to me at least is that prior to her cosmetic enhancements, she looked like your typical Asian American, with a lot of features that is not commonly seen within K-pop idols. After her cosmetic enhancements, she definitely does look like your typical K-pop idol, which is quite impressive really. If you are someone who looks more similar to Giselle's prior look and you want to look more similar to Giselle's after look, isn't this a very realistic visual inspiration? This result can almost seem like a dream. What if I can be like that as well? Of course, that is until you see some botched surgeries, the very many side effects that comes along with steroid abuse, or the most realistic caveats of all, our own very bank accounts, which are depressingly empty. And we're back to Earth. By the way, I should have prefaced this at the very beginning, but cosmetic enhancements here is the umbrella term I'm gonna use to all the different cosmetic procedures people typically do, be it Brazilian butt lifts, plastic surgery, Botox, or even steroids. However, in this grounding experience, take a step back and actually appreciate what our modern experts are able to achieve with cosmetic enhancements. Like seriously, take a step back and actually marvel at some of these results. They can start to feel really magical. Like look at some of the unfortunate victims of some unfortunate accidents that have caused some disfiguration that is quite severe. Some of the results from these experts are really impressive already, to the point where it feels almost magical again. Like seriously, if we show what our modern experts are capable of to the people of, I don't know, let's say Mordor, they will literally start writing fantasy books about ourselves because it is literally magical. Modern cosmetic enhancements is literally modern magic. Well, oftentimes they are irreversible and also they're just straight up beaten by AI filters, but you get the point. The results of modern enhancements are definitely quite magical if you show it to the people of old. However, of course, this is definitely just one of the very many different perspectives you can hold towards cosmetic enhancements. And personally speaking, I definitely have seen a lot more people in the internet leaning in way more into hating the unnatural than they are loving it. I mean, fair enough. Even the supposed plastic surgery capital of the world, let's say South Korea here, have created some results that people would deem as something that is less than desirable. Even the best surgeons of the world can still create mistakes, and maybe, just maybe, some of these patients shouldn't have done cosmetic enhancements, they should have done therapy instead, which, unfortunately speaking, is probably not as uncommon as we'd like it to be. And of course, there's also the very important talks of individual beauty. Having a lot more people out there doing the very same cosmetic enhancements will lead to a lot of people having more similar looking faces, leading to a lot of people being more homogeneous. From what very little that I've learned from all these YouTube videos, the prettiest looking faces is not the most perfectly well crafted ones. The prettiest looking faces definitely does still need those outstanding features like the best eyebrows, the best jawline. However, they do need to have that standout feature. Think about Anya Taylor-Joyce's eyes or Timothée Chalamet's jaw. And of course, one of the most important caveats of all, even if we can afford these cosmetic enhancements, some of these procedures just comes along with their inherent risks. Just look at the BBLs, the Brazilian butt lifts, a cosmetic enhancement procedure that is relatively speaking quite popular in the West. God knows how many people out there are trying to tell you the associated problems that comes along with it. Or how many fitness influencers are out there that are trying to openly tell you the problems that comes along with steroid usage. Heck, even rhinoplasty, the nose enhancement procedure that is quite popular, well, at least it is quite popular in Asian countries, it can still lead to you having breathing problems in the long term if done improperly. Yes, that's right, breathing problems, something that you will definitely have to do day in and day out. Even if we have that baller money to afford the best surgeons out there, the best health scientists out there to do these procedures for us, unfortunately, the potential risk for mistakes to happen is still not zero. So, ultimately what? Nothing really. The decision on what opinion to hold towards cosmetic enhancements is ultimately within your hands and societies alike. As much as I'd like the entertainment industry to be more open with cosmetic enhancements, what problems comes along with it? How much did it cost? What did you have to do? What good things have come along with it? Can you believe? Just very recently, Espas Karina, someone that is relatively speaking very popular, had to apologize publicly for dating.
Some of them were actually mad at Karina for having a boyfriend as they thought that she was a lesbian. They accused her of queerbaiting, claiming she was acting gay just for attention. On March 5th, Karina posted an apology letter to her Instagram accounts. She wrote, "The reason that I'm writing this, even though I'm worried that I may be hurting you again, is because I want to sincerely convey how sorry I feel to the fans."
That's right. She had to apologize for dating. Yes, unfortunately, even if there are some positive changes towards this in the future, is possibly still far away. I don't know. Again, this is just one of the very many different perspectives you can hold towards cosmetic enhancements. This is just one of them that look at cosmetic enhancements as something that's relatively good. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. Go like, subscribe, share, whatever if you want, and bye bye. Have a great rest of your day.